Artificial intelligence is already making decisions that affect your life, from the job you might get to the loan you're approved for. But what if those decisions aren't, well, fair? That's exactly what we're going to get into today. The big ethical questions we have to answer to make sure this incredible technology actually helps us instead of harming us. Let's dive right in. And just so you know where our information is coming from, everything we're about to cover is drawn from Chapter 15 of the Introduction to Artificial Intelligence tutorial, which is put together by Virtualization Options LLC. So, how does an AI get smart in the first place? Well, at its core, you can think of it like a student who's an expert at studying history. It looks at enormous amounts of data about things that have already happened, trying to find patterns. The more data it studies, the better it gets at guessing what might happen next. It sounds perfectly logical and totally objective, right? Well, here's the real kicker. What if those history books we're feeding the AI are flawed? What if they're filled with our own prejudices and past mistakes? All of a sudden, our super objective system has a very, very human problem. And that is the central challenge of AI ethics. So let's start by looking at the problem head-on: bias. We're going to explore how an AI that was built with the best of intentions can accidentally learn to be really harmful. So what exactly is AI bias? Put simply, it's when an AI's decisions end up creating or even amplifying unfairness that already exists in the world. It's not like the AI is being malicious or has some evil plan. It's just being a really good student of the data we give it. It's basically holding up a mirror to our own history. And if that history is full of bias, then the AI's conclusions will be too. And listen, this isn't just some abstract theory. Take a look at the real-world impact this has. In hiring, an AI might learn to prefer resumes from men, just because historically, more men held those jobs. In the justice system, it could wrongly flag people from certain neighborhoods as being high risk. These aren't tiny little errors. We're talking about life-altering decisions being made by systems with a built-in slant. So where does this bias even come from? Well, it's not just one thing. It's more like a chain reaction. It usually starts with that historical data, which reflects past discrimination. Then, on top of that, maybe the data doesn't even represent everyone the AI will eventually serve. And then you have the human element. If the team building the AI isn't very diverse, they might not even notice these blind spots. It's actually pretty easy to see how bias gets baked right in from the very beginning. Okay, so that's the problem, and it's a pretty big one. But, and this is a big but, it's not hopeless, not at all. Researchers and developers are already working on a blueprint for building better, fairer AI. So let's take a look at what that actually involves. The whole solution really starts by setting up some clear principles. Think of them as the ground rules for building AI responsibly. Things like fairness, that's non-negotiable. And we can't have these black box systems where even the people who made it can't explain why the AI made a certain choice. We absolutely need transparency. And maybe most important of all, a human being has to be in control, always. Now, putting those principles into practice means thinking about ethics at every single step of building an AI. It can't be an afterthought you tack on at the end. It has to start right at the beginning, in the design phase. It continues with building diverse teams and using better data. Then comes rigorous testing, and even after it's out in the world, constant monitoring. This sense of responsibility has to be part of its DNA. Now, I know this might sound like a huge problem for tech companies to solve, but it's not just on them. The future of AI really depends on all of us, and this last part is all about the crucial role that you play in this story. And let me be really clear about this. You absolutely do not need to know how to write code to be a part of this conversation. Seriously, your perspective as a user, as a citizen, as a customer, it is incredibly powerful. Your voice really, really matters. So what does that actually look like for you? Well, it's about staying curious and asking questions. If a company uses AI to make a decision about you, demand to know how. Get involved in the public discussion about how we should regulate these tools. And honestly, vote with your attention and your money. Choose to support companies that are trying to build AI the right way. When you boil it all down, it comes to this. AI is a mirror. It's going to reflect the values that we build into it, whether we do it on purpose or not. So the real question isn't if AI will have our values. The question is, which of our values do we want it to have? That's the choice that every single one of us has to make.